lovelies, it's Nisha. So it's just a quick video today talking about the new Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Instant Eye Palette. I haven't used it, haven't touched it, and I have a big dilemma. So I wanted to have a quick chat with you about this palette, tell you what I think about it, maybe help you to make a decision if you need it, if I need it, and maybe you will help me to make that decision too. Okay, you're gonna be really surprised. So, I am not sure that I should have bought it. I know, shock horror, but I haven't used it yet. It's absolutely clean, not touched, because I don't know if I'm going to keep it. It is beautiful. I love looking at it. You know how I feel about Charlotte Tilbury's eyeshadows, but I am thinking that I probably can get a very similar looks from all the other palettes that I have. Also, I feel like this palette is more suitable for brown eyes. I mean, don't get me wrong, blue eyes can use it, but I just feel there is something about the undertones of those colors that would be suited more to brown eyes. So what I did, let me tell you now the biggest difference in this palette. This palette has mostly matte eyeshadows. So there is 8 mattes and only 4 shimmers, whereas it's totally the opposite in all her other palettes. So if you are someone that loves mostly mattes, you will love this. What I did, I just filmed with my phone, sort of comparing this palette to the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize, then to the Stars in Your Eyes, Charlotte Darling, and the Little Pillow Talk. So have a look at that. Okay, so this is the Pillow Talk palette, and let's compare it to the Stars in Your Eyes. So I feel like these are pretty similar. Obviously these are all brand new shades, but I feel these three, yes, they are different. This one is a bit more red, this one is purple, but if I had to choose which one suits my eyes better, is probably the purple. This I feel is much nicer for brown eyes. Then, okay, this shade is very similar to this shade, it's almost identical. And then this shade is very similar to this shade. Then when it comes to the light ones, I feel these two are similar. So that was, I would say that the Stars in Your Eyes is probably the most similar. Yes, they are different colors, but I feel like you get very similar look. Okay, now this is Starry Eyes to Hypnotize, and this one is probably least similar, but again, these two shades are similar. This one is still a bit more red. Then I feel these two shades are similar. And that's probably it. So this one is the least similar palette. Just a couple of shades there are. Now here is the small Pillow Talk. With this one, I would say that these two shades are similar, and these two shades. This one is totally different, because this is more of that sparkly topper shade, and this one doesn't have equivalent in this palette. So you could say that it's similar to this tone, to the desk tone, but it is different. And now here we've got Charlotte Darling palette, and this one is very similar, obviously. So these two shades are similar. This shade is also similar to that one. These two you could sort of compare to these, and now the first one is very similar. So as you can see, it's very, very similar tone, if you know what I mean. Yes, so I didn't want to swatch them because I didn't want to ruin this palette just in case I am not going to keep it. You have to help me. I really don't know what to do. Like I said, I'm somewhat of a collector, but can I just keep £60 palette just so I can collect it? I think if you don't have any of the other palettes and you prefer matte, that is a palette for you. Let me tell you the problem with this. So I like to use some sort of light shimmer on my mobile lid. I've got only two choices here, these first two eyeshadows. And if I was going to use it with every look, I will run out of these eyeshadows first, and then I'll be left basically with just all matte palette. I would say that the colors that I like the most here are these ones in a date section, which are all matte and are nice rich browns. But you know, I probably have colors like this in other palettes, so I honestly don't know what to do. So I'm going to sit on this palette for another few days and then decide what I am going to do. It's hard because I don't want to use it. Maybe if I used it, I feel differently about it. I don't know, honestly. I know, first world problem. Yeah, but that's really my take on it. When I saw this palette coming out, my first instinct was just buy it. Doesn't matter what's in it, just buy it, because of how I like her eyeshadows. But you know, to me this palette is a bit like the Urban Decay Naked, that is all the same tone, just like from lightest to darkest. And I think I want a bit more variety. I know that Charlotte is all about this natural glowy look, but I think she needs to come out with a bit more interesting palettes. Like I would say that the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize is probably one of her more exciting ones, because each look is totally different shade, different tone, different color. So I feel like each look that I would do from each three of those shadows will look different. Whereas with this one, I feel, apart from obviously these really dark red ones here, all my looks would be very, very similar. Yes, my lovely, so this is my dilemma. I didn't want to swatch them, obviously, because I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it, but I'm sure you've seen swatches over everywhere. This palette's been out now for a while, so there is lots of videos, reviews and tutorials. I have seen some tutorials, and mostly on people with brown eyes, and that's why I felt it looked better on brown eyes. It's not the actual colors, it's something about the undertones of them. Maybe it would look different in the summer if I had more tan, I don't know. But yes, I still don't know what to do about it, but I hope it helped you to make a decision. There is no question about the quality and the beautiful look of this palette, and I'm sure the eyeshadows are as good as in any of her other palettes. It's just if you have the palettes that I've just compared it to, I'm not sure you really need it. But if you don't have any of the other palettes, or maybe you just have one and you love the matte look, then you will love it. Okay, my lovely, so that was my 2 cents on this. I hope you have found it helpful, or you are as confused as I am. Thank you so much for watching, and stay fabulous. Bye.